Chapter 3 Questions and Definitions. They surrounded us and moved us through the crowd, which parted to let us go, but not without a lot of looks, both hostile and wary, thrown our way. We were led down streets which were very clean. No vehicles barred our way, but then with their mode of teleportation, or whatever it was called, and stuck on a planet in the middle of nowhere, quite literally. Why would they need any? I did seem to notice that a lot of their clothes and items seemed borrowed, like they didn't belong here but came from different cultures. I mentioned this to Rusty, but he seemed more preoccupied with trying to find a way out of our predicament, his orderly mind going through scenarios and possibilities and just as quickly discarding them as each one appeared unlikely, given our circumstances. So I decided to ask someone about it later on. We crossed many streets and passed many buildings, obviously heading downtown until we came to a building with a sign that read Security. The doors opened before us, and we were ushered past a security guard with a name badge that indicated he was Corporal Yargo, who looked at us with some alarm for a split second, then resumed his official demeanor.
Who are they? They are strangers that claim they are from outside void space. I brought them in to have them interrogated. Is Captain Zendi available? Let me check.
The guard picked up a phone and pushed a button.
Sir, this is Corporal Yarg with the security gate. Third level Yvette is here with strangers here to be interrogated. Yes, sir, that's correct. No, sir, they aren't Cheshire. He says they claim to be from outside void space. That's what he said, sir. Right away, sir.
He turned his attention back to Swo.
Captain says to get them to him ASAP. Very well, thank you.
Turning to us, he growled,
Let's go.
We all marched to the dark hallway, which was drab gray. Trying to be friendly and calm down Rusty, I said, Very nice building you have. Nice and clean on the inside, but could do with a bit of color. I think a nice dark blue would go well. What do you think, Rusty? He rolls his eyes.
I don't think it really matters, Murphy.
Oh, but it would help to put prisoners at...
Silence, you two!
Swo snarled. We keep silent and continue marching on. We turn a corner and reach a large room with a table with various machines, an intercom box, and some computers. There are wires of all colors connected to them and leading down to some chairs. Swo opens the door and motions us to sit in the chairs and closes and locks the door behind us. I look rather skeptical of what are obviously interrogation chairs. Don't you have any other chairs? Louis Quinn's for me and a nice sofa for my friend, perhaps?
Doctor, sit down now.
Well, really, Mr. Third-Level Silencer, no need to be so officious. I'll sit, but I won't be comfortable. Other Cheshires arrive and grab Rusty while I sit in the chair.
Hey, what's going on? Let go of me.
Rusty starts struggling against his captors, but I try to calm him down. Rusty, such commotion. It's all right, don't fight.
But
Nothing, it's okay. The sooner we can show him we're friendly and can be trusted, the sooner we can find a way out of this place. Rusty finally calms down but gives a snort, showing he's not entirely convinced. Swo comes in and attaches some of the wires to my arms and head. He motions to some of the technicians and they start up the machinery and computers. They start typing away and look at the screens, then each other. Then one of them, a light brown Cheshire with white rings, nodded to Swo.
Okay, I will ask you a few questions. You better answer me truthfully.
Truthfully? Always. I'm always truthful. Well, I say always. I am most of the time. Unless I have to tell a lie, which isn't often, but I...
Enough! Just answer the questions.
Oh, very well. He looks at a screen near him.
What is your name?
Murphy's Law, also known as the Doctor. Swo's eyes narrow.
The Doctor? I've heard of you before, no raids. Where are you from?
Well, depending on your point of view, either from a planet called Earth or the planet Gallifrey.
Gallifrey, you say?
Turning to the technicians, he tells one,
Denise, look into Gallifrey and the Doctor and tell me what we've learned about them.
Yes, sir.
Denise,
white Cheshire with grey stripes, answers and starts frantically typing away. She looks through several screens before speaking.
Gallifrey, constellation of Castorborus, Class 4 planet, home of the Time Lords. They invented and regulated time travel in regular space. Their planet was involved in something called...
She scrolls a few lines down.
The Time Wars, a war with another race called the Daleks. Planet was destroyed in the war along with the Daleks.
She stops and scrolls through some more entries before continuing.
The Doctor. Renegade Time Lord. Stole one of their time machines and took off. He was convicted of interfering in time genocide, found innocent on both accounts due to his intervention. Has been offered Lord Prez on numerous occasions, but turned it down. Sir, it says the Doctor was responsible for fighting the Time War in Gallifrey and caused it to blow up and destroy the Daleks. And there are references to him on many planets, though accounts of his appearances differ.
She stops and looks back at Swo.
Time Lords, huh?
He looks back at me and frowns.
Why are you here?
Well, personally, I think that's a philosophical question. Maybe it's to help others, but it could be... He gets angry and slams a paw on the table.
Do not play games with me, Doctor. This is serious. Your very lives could depend on the answers. Why are you here physically? What brought you here to void space?
Oh, very well. As I explained earlier, Rusty and I were in my spaceship when...
Spaceship? What spaceship? No spaceship can navigate void space. There is no space here to travel through. And we are outside normal space, not to mention we would have detected it long before it landed.
Well, I hardly like to spread the word. Rusty, hearing that, snorts and mutters.
That'd be the first.
But it's actually a TARDIS, I continue, giving Rusty a cursory glance before looking back at Swo.
A what?
A TARDIS. TARDIS. Time and relative dimensions in space. It's a time machine, but it can move through space. So, I was speaking the truth-ish. In any case, we were orbiting this one star, Cardone. It is, or rather was, a G-class star. We were just minding our own business and reading an interesting book when the star collapsed into a black hole. I managed to use the emergency escape button. Another snort from Rusty. Fine. Ahem. Rusty pushed the emergency escape button. This caused the TARDIS to somehow escape the black hole before we got to singularity, but only by escaping normal space and time. Swo raises one eyebrow and looks at the readout. He calls out to the technicians.
Are you sure this equipment is working properly? Yes, sir.
They call out.
Everything is functioning normally. According to what we're seeing, the subject is telling the truth, however crazy it may sound. Well, maybe we'll get more out of the doctor's companion. Put him in the chair. No!
Rusty roars and struggles against his captors. He manages to throw a few of them off being bigger and stronger than they are, but sensing the futility of his fighting, I call out, Rusty, no, it's all right. They won't hurt you. Will they, Swo?
No, we won't hurt him. Just yet.
Good enough. Rusty, just go with them peacefully. Think of them doing a polygraph test on Earth. That's all. Don't cause any trouble. After all, where could we run to? Remember, we're on their planet in void space, wherever and whenever that may be.
Are you sure about this, Doctor?
Yes, as sure as I usually am.
Well, if you say so,
he replies, and with one last snort. calms down a bit, allowing them to lead him to another chair and hook him up with more sensors. So starts the process again.
Name,
Rusty Black Miss Clydesdale.
planet of origin,
Earth.
Earth, but not also from Gallifrey?
Nope, just plain old Earth.
Turning to computers, Swo inquires.
Denise?
She types some more and reads.
Earth, also known as Terra, third planet of the system of Sol in galaxy X4J19, also known as Milky Way galaxy. Class 3 planet. Major life form there is human. Technology negligible. They do not have interstellar flight capability.
She frowns and reads down before continuing.
It seems one of their kind, a Charles Dodgson, also known as Lewis Carroll, had seen one of us during a raid. After our scout returned, he notified us of his discovery. An advance force went down and took care of the discovery. We ensured no one would take Charles's story seriously.
She looks back at Swo. I look at him and tilt my head, frowning. What do you mean Charles saw one of you? Who are you? And where is this, all by the way?
Since our existence has already been made known and there is no one you could tell, I don't see any harm in telling. This is Chessus, and we are Cheshires. What?
What? What? You were the Cheshire Cats that Lewis wrote about in Alice in Wonderland? Nonsense. You don't look anything like them.
Like Denise mentioned, we ensured his story wouldn't be taken seriously. We got him hooked on opium. While he was on it, he started dictating his story. We recorded his words, transcribed them, changed a few details, and submitted them to a publisher under the pseudonym Lewis Carroll. This way, if Charles told anyone about our existence, then they would have been taken part of a drug-induced dream.
Rusty listened to her conversation, turning from Swo to me.
So the Cheshire Cat's smile is a work of fiction?
At this question, all of the Cheshires turned towards us and simultaneously grinned at us, but not in a good or humorous way. Rusty turns to me a bit shaken.
There is that Cheshire grin, Doctor, though not quite in the way I had imagined.
Yes, I have to agree, Rusty. I suppress a shudder and ask, so how did your planet end up here in the void, or as you call it, void space?
Well, the scientists could probably explain a lot better than I can, but from what I understand, we were doing some phasing experiments when our sun inexplicably went nova. There was something about a phase bubble and it interacting with our sun. The result was what we referred to as the splintering. Something about this caused our planet to break up and be transported out of normal space. The travel caused everyone to pass out. When we awoke, we found our sun back as it was, and it was our planet, and it and our planet were now in void space.
I see.
And now I have a few more questions for you, companion, if you don't mind.
Oh, very well. Swo leans down and looks straight into Rusty's eyes.
What are you doing with the doctor?
Looking straight back without any fear, he replies,
I'm a friend of his. He said we could see the universe and travel to other times.
He shrugs his massive shoulders.
I was just curious to see if he could live up to that.
Looking around, he says,
Never thought we'd travel to nowhere in no time.
Are you part of an advance force?
From Earth? Are you kidding? You heard Denise. We don't have interstellar capability. I'm here alone with the doctor.
I see.
I pipe in. So, since we've amply demonstrated that we are completely harmless and alone, we're free to go, right? I start pulling off the sensors.
Actually, no. You still know of our existence. We can't let you go because of that. Until we know what to do with you, I'm afraid we'll have to keep you for a while.
What?
Rusty shouts.
But you just can't keep a prisoner.
Oh, can't we? Guards! Take them away and lock them up.
Several hefty Cheshires came, grabbed Rusty and I, shackled and chained us, and led us out of the building. Though Rusty still struggled vainly, his strength overpowered by the many Cheshires, I calmly walk along with him, trying to make casual conversation. So, where are new accommodations? Is there room service? But the guards do not answer and continue leading and pulling us along. We go through several streets and enter a small gray building. Once inside, one of the guards signs us in and talk to the warden, then lead us into an elevator that gets cramped with all of us in it. The lowest button, which reads B3, which I take to mean basement 3, is pushed, and I swallow, realizing that we are being taken deep underground. The elevator slowly makes its way through the shaft until it reaches the bottom, and the door slides open.